A good evening to you all and welcome to the summit. As usual, I'm your host, Martina Avera, and tonight we're going to be speaking on the evolution of the digital sector. Now, over the years, Rwanda has established itself as one of Africa's leading examples of digital transformation. And this goes from e-government services and digital payments to smart business solutions and the growing adoption of artificial intelligence. Technology is reshaping how we work, how we learn, how we access services, and also how we experience the economic drive as well as growth. Now, as AI continues to transform industries around the world, Rwanda is also exploring how these technologies can accelerate innovation across sectors such as finance, education, infrastructure, investment, as well as public service delivery. But how far have we come is what we're trying to understand. What impact are we already seeing, and what more must be done to remain competitive in this digital age? Now, helping me or joining me to be able to unpack all of this, I will start on my near left. This is Carl Mawuka, business and AI lead at Global Quick Coders, applied generative AI professional from MIT, a co-founder at Right AI consultancy, and technology expert who has played a key role in some of Rwanda's most significant digital transformation initiatives. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, we also have Matthew Rwanda, founder and chief executive of RG Partners, an international financial management and investment advisory firm with extensive experience in banking, financial services, telecommunications, and technology sectors. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, and last but not least, we have Frederick Muhire, founder and CEO of NetPeople, a company leveraging technology to simplify human resource management through facial recognition, smart payroll, and tax automation solutions for businesses. Thank you for joining us, Frederick.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so I'm pretty excited to join to dive into the conversation, speaking on Rwanda's digital transformation journey, how far we've come, what more we can be able to do to continue to experience the goodness of this digital era. So I will start off with you, Carl Mawuka. You can first let us know more about what you do and what your role is in today's digital transformation.
Awesome. So, as you said, I lead business and AI for Global Quick Coders. It's a software firm. We develop software mostly for the government. But we also have bespoke products. So right now we have one called Quick Ride, which is it's a car hailing service. So it's a car pooling service. So imagine you're going to town and I'm driving and you're on the street. The app links us and they can take you for half the fee that you'd have to pay Move or Yego for. In my day-to-day role, it's really looking at how do we maximize AI's potential in what we do, but also in the products that we provide for the government.
One thing that you just spoke about is the whole carpooling thing, and it's very convenient right now. We have seen the effects that some of these exterior things that have on us, like the wars, and we see the increase in fuel prices. Are people accepting these new initiatives to be able to simplify how we go about our daily activities, such as that new carpooling initiative that Global Quick Coders has come up with?
Yeah, I think change is the only constant, and things, as humans, we find more efficient ways to do the same thing or to do it better and cheaper, and it's only human for people to start to rely on that as their normal day way of living.
Yeah. All right. So I spoke a bit about this in your introduction, but you've been involved in some of Rwanda's most significant transformation projects. If you could look back at some of them, first of all, how does it feel to be part of some of these digital transformations, but also what lessons have you learned from that journey that led you to who you are today?
Yeah, I think you can't take it for granted. I never do. It's one of those things that you look back and see the system work, and you feel like a proud parent seeing your child take the first steps. But some of the lessons that we've learned is that tech is not really the hard part. Tech is the easy part. The hard part is the human part. So, like, imagine you're trying to convince a Rwandan not to go and claim for a physical land title with a stamp and a seal, and tell them, no, just it being on the screen is enough. It takes a lot of repetitive reinforcement for that to happen, and that's what makes it the hard part. It is that people are already used to one way of life, and they're trying to give them a more efficient way of life. The human part has always proven to be the hard one. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Over to you, Matthew. Thank you once again for joining us. Could you give us more details about RG Partners and what you do for the digital era?
Yeah. Thank you. Essentially, our work is to understand and finance innovation, invest into technologies, but also at the end reduce the level of risk in this technology and innovative ideas. But beyond just getting to finance these emerging technologies, we also develop some of technology solutions to make our work easier, and I'll be spotlighting some of them. Thank you.
Okay, and you have spent over a decade advising organizations in finance, payments, telecommunications, as well as technology. How have you seen the digital transformation change the financial services landscape here in Rwanda?
So, back 10 years ago, we can say that the level of technology in the financial sector has really been transformational. Examples are that, for example, for you to get a banking service, you had to go necessarily to a bank. But today, banks are finding you everywhere, in your bed, on the roads, and anywhere. And beyond this, we have seen a government that really took deliberate strategies and invested into digitizing services. These are some of the few, and I can say that the results has been that people are now aware that there's no way back. We can only leapfrog, we can only continue to learn from what others are doing. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that. Over to you, Frederick. Could you first begin by giving us more information about NetPeople and your journey with creating solutions or technological solutions for human resources?
Yeah, thank you so much. NetPeople is just a software company. Since like 2024, when I was trying to find a solution that can help me to serve many customers at the same time, I was just struggling to find a solution that can work for me. Because, for example, let me give an example. In the company where people, they have to come and they have to sign in the books with pen, and at the end of the day, they have to get their money. So you find sometimes it takes time to do those calculations for the payroll. So that's why sometimes we find in the company they are late in payment of those salaries because it took long time just to prepare those kind of payroll. So I built this system just to automate or to remove those repetitive tasks. You train it once and it does it forever. So I was trying just to find this solution on the market, but I failed to find it until because I understand my questions and understand my people and the customers I'm going to serve. That's why I was just looking for the system that's understanding my questions. So we developed this system for not only me, but for other consultants, other HR professionals, just to automate those things. For example, assume in the construction, where we have a lot of thousands of manpower or casuals who come in the morning to do those kind of work. And you have some gate, those people, they have to come in, you have a book, they have to sign. Imagine the time they are going to spend on those things. So, but with AI facial recognitions, you just mount it there, it is scan your face, you are in, you go. So then when you finish your work, again, the system scan your face, you are out. Then on the way moving to your home, you receive an SMS that this is how much you get today. And that's it. So that's what we are doing. We are automating those things. That's used to take a lot of time. Yeah.
Thank you for that. You just spoke about it, but for any of the businesses out here that are listening, why is automation becoming essential for businesses today, especially in this digital era?
So number one is just like to save time, because you know time is money. When you spend time on something that is going to be repeated, you are wasting your resources. But this technology comes just to save that time, so that you save time and you focus on the other projects or other things that matters. So the other things is for service delivery. Now service delivery is just going to be quick. So you're supposed maybe to spend like 5 hours on something that now technology is just going to do in just like 10 minutes or 5 minutes.
Thank you very much for that. Back to you, Carl. From reducing business registration timelines through your work with RDB to expanding e-government services, how has technology transformed citizens' interaction with the government?
When you think about it, like when we ask our parents, for instance, what the process of registering a business was, it started from the night before. You ask for a day off, you sleep early because you have to go and queue up. The next day you have to go to the office, you queue up, you fill a form, and you'll probably be asked next week to come back because a stamp was missing. And this will take you weeks to do. Now you've changed that, we're changing that from office to online. So what was once an office is now just a website. And you can't imagine the benefits that has. So that enabled us to shrink the time from 43 days to 6 hours. But also when you think about how citizens interact with government now, it's through Irembo. The idea that you have this one door, that when you go through it, you have access to all these government services, that was genius for Rwanda to be able to have done. And when you look at what our neighbors have done, so if you look at Kenya, we need to be a bit humble because Kenya started the whole mobile money thing with M-Pesa. They taught the world how mobile money works. But they really aren't at the stage that we are. We are far ahead. And getting that far ahead, it can only be done by the political will that Rwanda has.
Yeah, thank you for that. And you spoke on people not realizing the benefits from truly moving from 46 days to business registration to now under 6 hours, and which is something that Rwanda is truly proud of, because it is one of our selling points, especially when we're attracting investors into the country, businesses, so on and so forth. Is this something that can even get better with time, and are people truly understanding the benefits of digitalizing or doing things online, especially having a portal like Irembo where you can access so many services in one area?
All I can say is it's now become our new way of doing it. I look forward to the day when you can do it over a phone call, or you can do it on a feature phone that's not a smartphone. As humanity, we always find better ways to do the things that we need done. But that doesn't take away from the fact of how far we've come. We can only look to the future, but no one's going to hand us that future. We have to be able to train our people. It's good that someone in the city can access this online off their phone, but someone in the village has to go to an agent. So we still have a long way to go, but I think we're on the right track.
Okay. Thank you for that. Back to you, Matthew. Digital payment systems have become increasingly common, and we do appreciate the growth in this sector. And different ways in which this is becoming easier and better. How important have they been in promoting financial inclusion as well as economic growth?
I would elaborate that, first of all, in the context that really when we talk about digital finance, it's less about leaving traditional finance. It's more about getting more people having access to financial services. Having financial services and digital products affordable, and as I said, open to everyone. In Africa, generally, we are concerned by our decades, centuries of slowing economies, but now Africa is catching up, being at the head of economic growth beyond even European countries. And what it tells us is now that our people are looking for ways to multiply the number of customers. For example, if you are selling a HR system, as I mentioned, you don't want to serve only the Rwandan market. You want to be able to monetize that even globally. The person who is in New York, if your technology speaks to them, they want to be able to cash out from their wallets, from their bank accounts. And so we really see the need of technologies being more transparent, being compliant, and not necessarily going away from the traditional way of knocking a payment. Yeah.
Thank you for that. And Frederick, many SMEs are still relying on manual processes, which is something that we're working on, but the movement is still a bit slow. What would you say they are losing out on by delaying digital adoption?
What I can say, they are delaying, of course, because sometimes they are what you used to call resistant to change. So because there's something new, and sometimes I'm fear of just using it because sometimes I don't understand how it works. And of course, we don't have enough, maybe like a school, just to train how those systems work. So they are delaying because of lack of information, lack of the confidence of using or adopting it. But yeah, as time, they are going just maybe to understand. And when they understand, I think they will adapt. You remember the time when internet was launched? People was, what is it? So how can I use it? So, but now you have bundle now on your phone. So in the future, it will be the same. Now, even you can maybe consult some people, like at school, like students. Everyone now knows ChatGPT, how to use it, maybe to do some assignment or assessment, something like that. In the business, we can say people they are still learning how to use it, because you can find now this one can work in my business, but maybe sometimes cannot work. So it depends on the business sector. So, but by the time to come, if we find you can't just achieve something very faster, because we are now focusing on better service delivery without just using technology. Because if you cannot adapt it, you will find that you're out of the market, because technology is now evolving every day. So, for example, see like in the HR, you find that some people here in Rwanda, you find people that used to get their salaries on 25th. Do you know why? It's because they need like sometime 5 days to prepare those kind of payroll and the computations. Imagine you have 500 employees. You are the head of HR. So you have 500 employees. You have to check one by one. And if it is manual, now you can understand the time they are going to spend on 500 people.
Yeah.
But with technology, because it is now well trained on how to do those kind of computations, and also it now understands the laws and the regulations and the rules that you set internally. It can now automate those things. That's for you to review and you approve. So people who are not just going to adopt it very faster, they find they are lagging behind this kind of gloss, if I can say.
Yeah, they need to hop on the trend, and hopefully that can be done sooner or later. Back to you, Carl. Artificial intelligence has become one of the most talked about technologies to date, and there's always a back and forth conversation on the adoption of it, how much it's taking over, so on and so forth. How would you explain AI's significance to an ordinary Rwandan, and also the importance of integrating it into the work that they do in today's world?
Yeah, when I think about that question, there's not an industry that AI won't affect. It's only a matter of time until you get there. But when you look at Rwanda, for instance, we have Zipline. Those drones, the timing of it, the route optimization, all that is done using AI. Of course, the normal Rwandan is not going to have to think about all that because that's happening in the background. But that's a very classic example that every Rwandan who sees a zip passing above their head to know that that's actually AI at work. And it enables us to deliver blood and medicines to the people who need it the most. When you think about in education, like Frederick said, students are the best example because they catch on very fast. So students are using ChatGPT as a private tutor to understand things that they otherwise would need a teacher for. The teacher can't be available as needed to everyone, so people have to be a bit creative. So in education, people are using it as a tutor, but also teachers are using it to be able to prepare for their classes, to be able to get examples that will actually be resound with the students that they are teaching. When you look at Irembo, for instance, we talked about Irembo. Now they have a chatbot. I don't know if you've seen. So when you go to the website, there is a chatbot that can walk you through whatever you're trying to do. You're trying to transfer your land. You're trying to register for an ID, and these are things that we don't really think about in terms of giving AI credit. But it's in those subtle ways that we actually feel its presence in our lives. And like I said, graphic designers are using it to get ideas, to do 3D printed graphics. Nurses are using it to be able to diagnose better. The list goes on and on. Yeah.
Okay, so what would you tell the people who are still fighting AI? That's one. And two, there's constant conversations, especially on social media. I actually saw a tweet today. Someone's like, bring back actual graphic designers who are making posters that are real, and they're tired of these AI generated posters. Where there's a true thin line between authenticity and the fact that, yes, AI is simplifying our lives, but also there are people who are still fighting it. What would you say to them? Or what do you think about that?
So there are some real concerns there. So there's a concern around, is AI going to take away our jobs? There are real concerns there. And also real concerns about, so what can we do about it? How can we prepare for such a world? I think both these things can be true at the same time. And we have to be realistic in knowing some tasks will eventually be done by AI. So AI, it automates tasks, not really jobs. So those jobs that are more tasks than jobs are the ones that are going to be that are really in the line of fire. Okay, think about mobile money. When mobile money came, people thought it's the end of banks. Yeah, so people were like, why should I go to a bank? Yet there's mobile money. But the banks are still thriving. And on top of that, mobile money created more jobs because at the corner of every street, you'll find a mobile money agent. So we can't truly predict the extent while we're still in it, but we can learn from previous experiences like mobile money, and just accept that AI will take away those tasks, but those people who know how to use AI will actually going to thrive, because now he can do his job 5-6 times faster and better and cheaper. That person ends up taking up roles of the people who are doing tasks to begin with. And my last thing here would be, the goal is not really a race against the machines. It's to be able to know how to make the most of the cooperation between man and machine. Yeah.
Okay. And over to you, Matthew. Investors today are now paying close attention to digital readiness. How does Rwanda's digital ecosystem influence investment decisions?
Yeah. I would say the point of inflation is more at modeling our technologies in a way that will make an investment case. Let me tell you one of the biggest constraints with investing in technology, especially artificial intelligence. You'll realize that technology is nourished with data. And the architecture of data is such that it compounds, it accumulates, and it has been accumulating faster recently. As an example, in a bank today, you are likely to find more data of a younger person than data of an older person. Why? Because from the moment this person with 20 or 30 years went out of university, they started banking everything they had, which is different from that person, that elderly person. Now, on the other way, in investment and in finance, what drives finance is trust. So for me to invest in you, for me to give you money, I need to have a long-term legacy of information I can analyze, establish a trend, determine a credit score. And so the investor and the financing person will tend to look at that elderly person. So the technologies of today are not needs to make a link between the two. Find a way to include these people whose data is scattered, who have been excluded from the system because of education challenges, because of gender challenges, disability. For me, I believe this is where no one has been tapping into. Traditional bankers have not been going as far as they should. So emerging technologies of today should look at those areas, making a business case for their systems, the data they generate, being trustworthy in the eyes of the investor.
Yeah, thank you for that. And Frederick, we've spoken about AI and how it's increasingly being integrated into the workplace. How do you see AI changing human resource management in the future, which is something that you are working on?
Yeah. Thank you so much. Now, for example, on the entrance, on some farms, companies, they just used to have some people who are who are there just to check people who come in, come out. Now they are putting some cameras, as we have net people here. So we put net people just for it to check time in, time out, so we know that the time you worked. So, and also the AI, like those kind of automations, it is just going to bring what you call transparency. So because some people used to say, I worked maybe for 10 hours, while you just work like for 1 hour. So, and you claim you need the whole salary of like the people who worked for that time. So the AI, I think, in the workplace, it's just going to bring transparency, because there are some people who really work and they get small remunerations, and there are some other people who come like for them to relax, and they are claiming a lot of salaries. But now with the AI, with the automations, it's just going to reduce the number of supervisions with people who come to give you and supervise and control what you are doing. The system will be there just to see, to track your movement, to see what you are doing, the tasks that you're supposed to do, what you have accomplished today, and those things. With no so many people who are involved in those controls. So it's just going to bring efficiency and also the transparency, because you find sometimes people are complaining about their rights, and of course they deserve them, but sometimes there is no proof. They don't have proof to say, saying this one based on these facts. But with the AI, because we will be having those tools, those automations, that will be a proof. Also for compliance. Some people, like small companies, that just used to hire people and they negotiate on the net salary, and that's it. So they don't focus on any other compulsory deductions, like the RCCB contributions, the payroll deductions. But with the AI, with the system, employee will just see how his remuneration is just going computed. So for him or her to see if the company is just paying me what it must pay for me, like the RCCB contributions, because there's a way to track, there's a way to see. And for the employer side, and also the AI will help him to be compliant, because some people, as I said, they don't comply because they don't know how to do those things. For example, having like a professional HR here in Rwanda, you find maybe the price range from 300 to 500,000. But having the system that is maybe costing him 45,000, he's okay just to have it, instead of just outsourcing those services to the those professional one who's just going to charge more than his budget. So they are afraid to use those services because it is too much to accommodate or to afford. But with technology, it is simple and it is cheap. So now they can just get those services in one single platform or one single system. So they are going to comply. So they are going to see those calculations, to see those things, to see those recommendations, and they're just trying to adapt. So I was just saying about efficiency, compliance, and also the trust between employee and their employers.
Thank you for that. And back to you, Carl. We did speak on some of the examples of AI solutions bettering the way we are going about life. But you know, some people do want to hear practical things and they want to see them. You spoke about the chat box that Irembo has now created. But what are some of these other practical AI applications that are improving these various sectors that we need to survive? The healthcare sector, education, logistics, public service delivery in Rwanda.
Yeah, for people wondering what can you do about it, because AI is here, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Some of the nuggets I would say, first, get comfortable with computers and data, because that's the only way you're going to get good at prompting. So if you need to learn how to use a computer, this is the best time to learn. There are videos on YouTube for free that you could use, but by all means, be comfortable with data and using computers, because that's the only way you're going to make the most out of AI. The next one is learn how to think clearly and how to ask the right questions, because prompting is really just asking questions. The way you frame your prompt determines what you get out of the AI. So being able to think clearly and ask the right questions gives you the ability to look at what it brings back in 10 seconds or 30 seconds and be able to tell if this is a good response or not. That's still your responsibility. And then get good at things that AI is weak at. So AI is not good at caring. It's not good at leadership. It's not good at using your hands, being a plumber, woodwork, any of these manual labor.
Yeah.
Be good at that. And the big one is learn how to learn. These tools come and go. So you need to be able to update your knowledge as they come and go, and to keep current even as the tools are changing. So learning how to learn is the big one. Don't stop learning. Keep hungry. But by all means, keep learning and keep trying. That's when you're going to make the most out of AI.
Thank you for those tips. I hope people are able to learn from those. And Matthew, artificial intelligence is changing financial services globally, and we can see that. But what opportunities do you see for Rwanda's banking and investment sectors?
Yeah. First of all, we have to commend the efforts that the government is really putting to. He was mentioning learning to make sure that today we have got the young generation being interested into technologies, so that creates investment opportunities. The youth of Rwanda, fresh graduates, represent investment opportunities of the future. So we are very lucky for that. And we are not really having a lot of, we are not having hard work to identify investment opportunities, but rather, as you mentioned earlier, getting opportunities that are ready for investment, because investment is a bar which you have to test on, because it's going to be the first time that a stranger will have to believe in you, will have to believe in your concept, and put their investments, what is in their pockets, in their savings, in your hands. So it's really a point of reflection and inflection for me, delivering these services. But also I want to come back to the point of multiplying and creating better and stronger opportunities. There are organizations which have got a lot of data, which have got talent within them. I will give an example. Starting from our own organization, we were facing with a large number of institutions and people looking for financial services. And in some cases, take an example today, if let's say you want to do a transaction in Dubai, and it doesn't come so easily in your mind, how is that transaction going to be taxed? Because if you send money there, that money will be taxed in Dubai, and in Rwanda it should also be taxed. So it takes maybe one day for even a tax professional to get to learn what it is. Now, we took a bold initiative to create an AI, to put together all the tax laws, fiscal and non-fiscal, to even a tweet, an overnight tweet from the tax regulator, just to make sure that the maximum of people will have access to affordable, in our case it is totally free, tax advisory for Rwandans and to foreigners. This, for us, resolves the solution, but it also sets us for better investment. So For us to create a maximum of investment opportunities, we should not only look at the younger generation. We should think of every organization, private, public, you're a manufacturing organization. What can you digitize in your service offering?
Yeah, okay. And Frederick, as a person who works with different companies as you're trying to help them implement the technology that you are providing, what are some of the challenges that these businesses face, and how do you help them overcome them? Or what would you what would your advice be in terms of integrating these solutions as they experience these challenges?
Yeah, the challenges are real on the ground, because there's what you used to call resistance to change. Because you find some people were just happy with their books and their data entry, and come to say, now this is a computer with the keyboard. You have to now maybe put the data here, because the system will automate those things in the computer, not on the paper. So sometimes it becomes a sense of saying, no, I don't want these things that need me to go and learn how to use computer. Because the old way, I was just using it or doing my job. That was no question, because I used to hear there is one customer who asked this system, and during the implementation, we faced some challenge like that one. The person who was supposed to assist us in implementation, who would just try to say, oh, sorry, I'm sick, I'm not available. Why? Because he was a person who just want to keep using the old system, old manual things. But the boss was saying, no, I just need things to be automated, so I can see those data, those information when I'm abroad. But because of those kind of things that I don't want to go back to school to learn how to use computer, how to use those kind of systems, I feel like I'm not comfortable with these systems. So the challenge like that one, because now there is a technology with people who lack some computer literacy, so it becomes now somehow hard to implement those kind of things. But there are others that are trying to learn how to use those systems, even though they are at the edge of going to the pension or something like that one, like in retirement. But they fight until they know how to use those things, because they want also to teach those systems to their kids or to their younger generations. That number is not that big, but they are there. They are real on the ground. So, but in the way of fighting it, as we say, there are some schools that are establishing those kind of maybe knowledge or trainings, how to use those kind of computer, how to use those kind of knowledge, I mean the systems. Yeah, people are just trying to adopt, but of course we can now say there are other people who are there that's trying to resist on all the things. Yeah, so that's the challenge I can say. So how we are overcoming it, we are trying just to teach them. So the AI is not just to replace you, but just going to save your time used to spend on those things.
Thank you for that. And back to you, Carl. What would your advice be to the youth right now who are hoping to stay relevant in this AI-driven economy? What should they focus on? What should they invest in? What should they be giving their time to right now?
I think the thing they should be focusing on is how to make AI more communal, more inclusive. The danger with such technologies, one which is a real danger, is if AI remains in Kigali, in English, and only on very expensive smartphones, it just widens the gap between the rich and the poor. So we have to be very intentional about how we go about it. And so as a country, smartphones and data should be affordable to a normal family, even in the village. How do we get to a place where everyone in the country has access to AI? And these tools have to speak in Rwanda for them to be truly inclusive. We have people who don't speak any other language; they speak their mother tongue. So the youth have a big part to play in advancing AI within those communities. And even as a nation, we have to actively train our youth. Rwanda is one of the youngest communities, and so it makes sense that we actually find ways to make them creative. Services like Irembo should be not only just on smartphones, but even on a feature phone. Someone should be able to call if they don't know how to use touch screens, be able to call and actually get the service done for them. And if we get this right, it lifts everyone equally. If we get it wrong, sadly, we'll just widen that gap.
Thank you for that. We're running out of time. These are the last few questions. I'll start with you, Matthew. If Rwanda is to position itself as a regional technology and innovation hub, what investments should be made today?
Quickly, I would start with connectivity. Make sure that the maximum of Rwandan are fully connected. Number two, it's cloud and computing infrastructure. This is something every country is trying to catch up with, and I would love to see much of this. And number three, competence.
Yeah, thank you for that. Frederick, how can organizations strike to have a right balance between maintaining automation and maintaining the human element in the workplace? How could we be able to balance that as we move forward and as we continue to move digitally?
Yeah, thank you so much. AI, as people used to say, it's just going to take out some jobs. On my point of view, it's not. I think it's just going to change how we used to work at workplace. So at workplace, I can say the AI let's be a tool that people at workplace they are going to use just to be efficient, just to do more things in short time. So business owners, of course, they have to bring those technology and teach, of course, their people, their employees, how to use it, so to be productive, not just like to replace those people. Because if you bring the technology and you teach me how to use it, of course, I will just adapt. But if you feel the technology that you're going to bring is just going to let you move me out, so I think it's just a negative narrative. So the AI is a tool. It's not just like a new employee in a sense.
Thank you for that. And back to you, Carl. Looking ahead, what could Rwanda's digital landscape look like in 10 years from now if AI adoption continues at the current pace that it's going at today?
I think we're only limited to our imagination here. I see a country where parcels are delivered at your doorstep by drones. Medicine can be delivered to your doorstep by a drone as well. I also see us being able to use feature phones as well to access government services. The government has said that it wants the economy to be 6% in the future. I think it's achievable, but it will be achievable if we put in the hard work. We have always been proactive as a nation. We've always taken on challenges like this head on and come out at the top. So I have no doubt that we can do the same here. Yeah.
Thank you very much. This was truly an insightful conversation. And as we've heard tonight, Rwanda's digital transformation the story is no longer simply about connectivity or even digitization and innovation or automation. It is increasingly about intelligence and creating systems for the people that improve lives, strengthen institutions, and unlock new economic opportunities, which we keep on seeing through today's digital era. And the rise of artificial intelligence also represents tremendous possibilities across all sectors: finance, education, health, and so on and so forth. So we're truly grateful for such conversations and helping people understand the importance of going digital, adopting automation into their daily lives as well as their work. So thank you once again to you, Carl, Matthew, and Frederick, for joining the conversation.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Martin.
Yes, and let's keep it going. Let's join in on the conversation and contribute to what you can be able to do in any sector that you are residing in. And I'll see you on next week's episode. Good night.